Thank you, Angel, for that introduction. As she stated, this webinar, we're going to be focusing on OTC and nutrition incentive programs that are available in the SMS system. To start with, this is going to be a little bit different than my previous Lunch and Learns. It is going to be actually a slideshow based, as that way I have screenshots to show you of the various programs. As I'm going to be going over quite a few, I'm going to be going over produce incentive programs, and which include the Got the Good Stuff program, the HRM program, which is a New Jersey-based program, and the Double Up Food Bucks program. And I'm also going to be talking about the Healthy Savings program as well, and touching on OTC at the end of the webinar. So just to start off with that. So as I just stated, I'm going to be splitting this up kind of into 3 different sections. So the first thing I'm going to go over is the produce incentive programs that we offer inside of SMS. That includes the Double Up Food program, the Got the Good Stuff program, and the HMH program. Then we're going to switch over to Healthy Savings and OTC. These are programs that SMS talks to, so they are actually outsourced, and we take the information at the SMS point of sale and send it out and get the information back. So there's a little bit different flow with those. For the produce incentive, let me go back, sorry. The produce incentive programs, like I said, there's 3 big ones that we have, and we actually have these built into the SMS program. They're running with SMS loyalty. So it's the Double Up Food Bucks. You'll very commonly hear us call that the DUFB, or the Got the Good Stuff, which is GTGS to us sometimes. We get some acronyms for that. That's a New York City-based incentive program, and the HMH is a New Jersey produce incentive program. The point of all 3 of these is to get customers to purchase produce items, and then they build points or dollar amounts when they purchase these, that they can come back then and reimburse on more produce and healthy foods. We do use the SMS loyalty programs to do this. We can use both the built-in native loyalty program, and we can also use SMS payment loyalty program. And what this will allow you to do is be able to track all of the purchases inside your system, and you'll be able to get live points and live information on the customers as it is being tracked right there. And the SMS program is doing all of that for you. All of that also means that because it's all tied into the SMS loyalty program, the item eligibility is controlled by you at the store level. So you're able to go in and flag these items to be eligible for these programs or not eligible for these programs. Because these are financed by state and federal grants, we do have reporting capabilities that we had to build in order for you to be able to email out to the state and the local governments in order to get reimbursed and make sure that you're getting the proper information you need to track all of these sales. Also, skipped over this a little bit, but for the on-screen display for easy program identification, this is built into SMS programming, so you'll be able to really see a lot of information on the point of sale. The cashier will be able to easily show the customers what they're earning and how they're earning. The other nice thing about this is, depending on how you are running your loyalty program or would like to run this program, the customer can have a physical card that they need. They could type in their phone number, whatever form of identification that you would like to use that's available in SMS can be used for these programs. The next screen I have is actually what it will look like on the point of sale screen. Now I'm using Double Up Food Bucks program here, but this can be customized to whatever program it is that you're wanting to run. So if you're using Got the Good Stuff, instead of seeing FB or Double Up, this would show Got the Good Stuff. If you're using the HRH, sorry, that will show HRH here instead of that. So this can all be customized, but they all use the same programming behind. So I just used Double Up Food Bucks as an example. So you'll be able to see right on the point of sale screen how much they have earned currently in the transaction. So in this transaction, they've already earned, they would earn $7.54. You can also see how much they have, since it's tied into the SMS program, how much they currently have eligible right here. So they had $5.86 eligible that they can use for their Double Up Food Bucks program in this transaction. You can always redeem the max amount as long as they have the eligible items in the transaction. You can redeem up to the $5.86, and you can redeem any partial amount, or the customer can redeem any partial amount. We add a button on there, so it's a simple 1-button redemption, just like you have credit, debit, all of that. We would just have a button depending on what program, Double Up Food Bucks, Got the Good Stuff. There would just be a button that you could simply press and the customer would be able to use that amount, type in the amount they want to use, and they could use that. You'll also be able to come in and see which of them, the cashier can see what items are available, are eligible right here. So because this is Double Up Food Bucks, this is labeled FB. If it was one of the other programs, we could have this as HRH, we could have this as GTGS, or whatever makes sense to you or your cashiers that would make them be able to visually see what items are eligible inside the transaction. In this transaction, the customer did use the whole 586 of their Double Up Food Bucks, so you can see how this shows. So it shows up as a coupon, it takes the entire amount off, and then that is taken off the rest of the transaction. On the receipt, they're going to show this information as well. And again, using Double Up Food Bucks as an example here, but this could be customized to any of the other ones. So up here, you can see that same coupon is coming up. It'll show on the receipt so the customer can see how much they used. All of these programs, they have to purchase with food stamps. So that is a requirement for all of these, that they must what they get when they earn these amount, they are going to be purchasing it with EBT. So that is highlighted on the receipt that it was purchased with EBT. And then down at the bottom, it'll have all of the information, what they started with for their amount, how much they were given, so they were how much additional they were given during the transaction, how much was redeemed, and what their ending balance is. So that way the customer has all the visibility they need to see what is going on in their account. So I said before, with these programs, since they are driven by the SMS loyalty, the individual flagging is done at the store level, so you can control what items are eligible for these programs. For Double Up Food Bucks, the way that this is programmed is you would be checking that they're FSA eligible, and then there's an additional slot down here for add totalizer for 95. If the item is going to be able to qualify, you would just put those two things in and they're qualifying. They'll both earn and be able to be redeemed. For Got the Good Stuff and HMH, it's actually on tax 7. Oh, I got that moved a little bit, but it's right here above my highlighted box. So that is that's all you have to do on the items. This means that they'll accumulate for those, and it will also be able to be redeemed on those. So it's the same flag for both. There is a lot of reporting requirements that, because these are based on federal and state grants, that were required for us to be able to produce, for you to be able to get the redemption and do all the tracking that is necessary. So there were 6 reports that we built that you can run. So you can look at eligible items that were purchased by date. So you could track how many eligible items were purchased, how much amount earned per transaction by date. So you can track how much amount all of your customers earned that specific date or date period. And along with that was how much was redeemed per transaction by date. There's also an eligible items purchased by program user. So what does that mean? You can run the report to see how many eligible items were purchased by each user. And there's also a report for SNAP/EBT sales totals per date and eligible items purchased that were paid by EBT. Like I said, the EBT purchase tender is the requirement for them to earn as well. So that's why they want to be able to track that. Won't be tracking any EBT card information, anything like that. It's just tracking that the items were purchased by EBT. So all of these reports were required from the state and federal grants that are running these 3 programs. The nice thing is that we can customize these if needed. If there's another produce incentive program that's being introduced or another produce incentive program that you would like to look at, maybe implementing at your store, we can look at the reporting requirements and make the changes to these reports as needed. Generally speaking, they just need to be run and emailed out to the states, or you can run them for your own information as well, but we have that built in so you can do that. The next program I'm going to talk about is a little different. So those 3 are all based off SMS loyalty. Everything is tracked in the SMS system. We built those to work and to export information out. Healthy Savings is actually sourced outside. So it's actually sourced by Solutron. It's the Solutron S3 solution. So we actually interface with them. So instead of having everything tracked inside the SMS system, We're going to be sending the transactional data out to Solutron. They will track to see if they meet the healthy savings requirement, and then they'll send that back down to SMS, and it will come off as a coupon that you would be redeemed for. So what they did with Healthy Savings is that this is the same idea behind produce. It's to help promote people to buy more healthy foods. It's not locked down to just produce. This is for, I believe it's the healthiest half items, the healthiest half of the items that are in grocery stores. So it's just wanting to purchase more healthier items, not just limited to produce. We set up a website that actually, Solutron has a website that we enable SMS to communicate directly out to. So when the customer comes in, they will have a physical card that they were provided by Healthy Savings that can be scanned at the register. And then it takes that information, sends it out to Solutron. They check the items in the transaction are eligible. They track what that customer has earned, and then they send it back down. Because of this, it is a little limited to what SMS can show. So looking at the amount that they redeemed, the amount that they have on the card, all of that information. The customer actually has an app they can track that on. So SMS just has a little bit of information that we can show on the screen. So let me just show you a screenshot. So when a customer comes in, they swipe their card, it'll come back down and it automatically comes off. It shows up in green. Like I said, it was Solutron. That's what the S3 is, _HS in the card. And then it gives the last 4 digits of the card and the amount that's redeemed on the card. There's not any more information because it's not built into SMS. It's just a communication device. But again, like I said, the customer actually gets an app that they can go track their usage and track what they earned on there. The same thing applies to the receipts. So on the receipt for the Healthy Savings, this is an example of a receipt right here. Pretty much shows the same thing. You can see the S3_HS card. You get the last 4 digits, and then it comes off as an electronic vendor coupon. So you get a vendor coupon for what you were able to redeem on that transaction. And then anything that they're earning, again, is also going to be tracked on the Solutron side. It is not visible on the receipt what they currently have. So that's why there's some benefits to having the produce programs that you can actually have all that tracking available, with this one, you're sending it outsourced. The one thing about this is that you don't control the eligibility on the store side. That is actually controlled on Solutron side. So there's no ability to flag the items in SMS, which does take the item maintenance portion away from something that you would have to make sure that you're tracking. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is OTC. This is the rolling out right now that we're getting the over-the-counter out there. So right now there's 2 carriers, Income and Solutron, that we currently have in pilot testing with SMS. Nation's Benefit is the 3rd carrier that is in development right now with Lock. So this is going to behave similar to how Healthy Savings is. It's going to create an interface between SMS and the OTC server. What that means is any of the ones I just listed above, Income, Solutron, or coming up Nation's Benefit, that we would be communicating directly with them. There will be, again, like with Healthy Savings, it'll be a website. We're taking the customer's card as they're either scanning or swiping them. It is moving away from scan to swipe and MSR swipe with these. So we'll take that information from the customer, there'll be an interface set up by any of the ones listed above, Income, Solutron, or Nation's Benefit. We send the information for the transaction and that customer. They'll look at what they have available. Yep, you have this much and those items qualify, and push it back down. So similar to that, they will be no item maintenance on your side. It will be all tracked on their side. And there is on-screen display for easy identification for which program you're using. So I do have a few point of sale screens to look at for that. So the first one is the OTC discount. So generally speaking, most of these have 2 different discounts available that you can use. One of them is a discount that you can get a certain amount off of certain items if you qualify. So we'll send that information up, they'll check, they push it back down. If there's a vendor discount available, they will have those applied directly to the item. And you can see right here, this had 2 vendor coupons that were available. It's applied directly to the item. If there's a store discount available, they will show as a store discount available. So that could mean just a specific store discount that your own store is eligible, or for a handful of stores is eligible for. Once it's applied the discounts, you will get a green line showing up at the bottom where you'll say $0 because they're applied to the item. It will always show $0 for this, but that way you know that the discount has applied. The other thing that's available with OTC is the purse. So if they have any purse available on their OTC, it'll come up with a prompt and it will say, the prompt will be on the cashier side. It will say, does the customer want to apply their purse? So the cashier can ask, do you want to apply your purse to this transaction? So if the answer is yes, they hit yes. The information about the items that were eligible were already sent up to OTC, so you have that amount. It'll apply the amount available. So in this case, the rest of their transaction was able to be used for $28.43. If the answer is no, the script's terminated. They don't use the purse, and they can then pay for the transaction with any other form of tender. I do not have an example for a receipt currently for this, but this does all show exactly the same on the point of sale screen as you're seeing it right here. It'll show the OTC discount. It will show the OTC purse amount that was applied to the transaction on the receipt at the bottom. So with that, that's what I wanted to present. Is there any questions that came through?
Yes, we have a couple of questions. The first one is if I want to implement Get the Good Stuff for my store, how would I go about doing this?
Well, you should contact your salesperson would be the first thing. Get the Good Stuff is New York City based, so make sure that you're in the right region for it would be the first step. But then you would actually want to reach out to you, Angel, and more than likely, and talk to that Angel or one of the other salespeople and discuss implementation, and we can get that going.
And I will reach out to you after this webinar to discuss as well. And then the next question is, what's the difference between Solutran S3 Healthy Savings and Solutran OTC?
So Healthy Savings is the program so they're both hosted by Solutron, so I can see the confusion. So Solutron S3 Healthy Savings, that is actually tracking your food purchases and tracking to make sure to see what you're purchasing for food items, that you're purchasing healthy items. Like I said, I want to say it's they took all of the items in a grocery store and the top half of items that are more healthy than the other ones. So you'll build up points based off those healthy purchases, and then you can redeem those points on more healthy food purchases. Solutron OTC is meant for over the counter. So as you could see when I was looking at those receipts before, the OTC is meant for medication or diapers or things that are meant for over the counter type things, and it can be used to redeem on that. You are not going to be earning the points on OTC based off your purchases. You're going to just be redeeming them.
Okay, so the next question is, if I don't want to wait to be onboarded by Solutran or Income, is there a way to more quickly be onboarded and use these solutions? The answer to that question is both parties, they offer a stand beside unit for immediate use if you don't want to wait to be onboarded. So you just directly contact Solutran or Income. If you have questions about this, feel free to reach out to me at sales@stcr.com. Our next question is, how do I sign up for Income OTC? So for Income OTC, first of all, make sure that the cards you're getting are actually Income cards. Their providers are for Income. And if so, STCR has a link that we can send you to get signed up for that. So again, just reach out to me at sales@stcr.com and I can help you out with that. And then the next question is, when will Nation's Benefit be available for lock SMS? Jen, do you know the answer to that?
It is slated to be available late in 2024. They're looking on that to be released with 3606 is the version that I heard, and it's slated for late in 2024. So
Okay.
I want to say that would be November, December. I would look for that.
All right. And then the next question is, our store is currently using a separate machine for OTC. We scan the items to SNS first, and then we put the items into the OTC machine. My question is, after STCR is done integrating with OTC, is this process going to be simplified so we don't have to put one item twice?
Yes, it will. You will not need the separate machine anymore. You will be able to use your register, your point of sale registers, just scan in the items as normal and use the card directly at the point of sale. So there won't be a need for a second machine. It'll all be able to be done through the point of sale machine, the SMS point of sale machine.
Okay, Jen, I think that might be our last question. I'm not seeing anything else right now. Well, actually, uh, to add on to that question that you just answered, they want to know, is there a timeline for this?
Currently, we are piloting both Income and Solutron. So as soon as we're done with the pilot, we can get that rolled out. But what I would do is if you're interested in getting that integrated, especially with Income, if you reach out to your salesperson or Angel, if you want to reach back out to them, you can provide the link that they could start setting up the Income account that they would need. And then once it's ready to go, that way you'll have the information ready to be able to get to input. That is one of the I would say one of the things that's kind of pushing a little bit lengthier in between some of these is that we're waiting for that account information from Income, as it can take several weeks to get set up with them. So if you start that process now, that way you would have that information ready to go. So that way, as soon as we're finished with the pilot phase, we can implement at the stores.
And I will reach out to you after this webinar to discuss a little bit more and see what your options are. Jim, we have a couple more questions. The next question is Double Up Food Bucks program tied to owner's number and SMS?
It's tied to the frequent shopper program. So if you are referring to them as owners program, like you're using the frequent shopper program for owners, then yes.
Okay, I apologize. I thought this last one was a question, but I think it might just be a statement. I think that might be all the questions that we have. So thank you all for joining us. Next month, we'll be hosting our Lunch and Learn on Thursday, June 27th to review best practices for item maintenance and SMS. Also, we have additional Toshiba sponsor webinars. Our self-checkout monthly master series occurs the first Thursday of each month, and the next one is Thursday, June 5th. Paul Berry will be going over self-checkout best practices. Again, thank you all for joining, and I hope you have a great day.